Howdy, folks. I'm Rebecca Jolly, the Jolly Alchemist. So, today we are looking at a neutrino forecast for Friday, the 10th of October, 2025. We are in the right angle cross of penetration, so we're still looking inward, but we're getting up in the house because we're on the third line. So that third level, it's on the stairs, getting ready to go to the next floor. 57, line 3. Is, of course, 57 is what we're talking about, this gate of intuition right here. Acuteness of perfected intelligence. So, today, it's like we have a real adventure, survival, in the now kind of a day. So, it's very interesting. Let's look at what that's from. Acuteness of perfected intelligence is adapting in the now to life. So it's very much like surviving, getting your needs met. But Ross says it's a very individual kind of gate, a very individual kind of energy. So it's about survival in the now with perfected intelligence for just that one. Don't necessarily assume that that person has anybody else's needs in mind. I know somebody who carries this line, and she could be a little bit, I don't want to say cold and unfeeling, but she's like, yeah, that's your need. I got all mine. Guess that's your problem, kind of an attitude. So it can be a little bit like sharp on that edge. But Ross says, if these people disappear, you definitely want to follow them. They're up to something good. It's about survival. Believe that. It's like, yeah, I definitely see that. We once both were seduced by a march passing by the house, and I went to the front and she made a beeline for the back, and I realized afterwards that she had been right. I should have followed her to the back. So yes, 57 line 3. 51 line 3, which is on the other side of the wheel from that, is adaptation out of the strength of spontaneity. Again, this is a line of shock, but the shock is a little more advanced. The person who carries this line is a little bit more able to handle the shock, but you're looking at small shocks. So Ross says, it's kind of cute. He says, if you're looking at a small shock like a traffic jam, this is great. This person is going to be right there. They're going to be in and out of it. They can adapt, they can do the thing. But if there's an earthquake, oh, they're going to fall apart. And I have my Chiron, my design Chiron, in this line of this gate, which is about when big things are happening, the tendency to become just destabilized and to lose it and withdraw. And I absolutely am that way when the shit hits the fan. So, or I might just really turn around and have a bunch of courage, but it's unseen courage. It's unexpected courage. So there's like levels of destabilization. Sometimes I think my peeps would be happier if I would withdraw. They're like, oh, you have entirely too much courage right now. We don't need that. Please go home. So yeah. Responding to disorder. Yep, they have, Ross says, the ability to dance out their way out of difficulty. And sometimes they also have this chutzpah, yeah, this ability to have a lot of gall. This gate is actually associated with the gallbladder and the bile, biologically speaking. And he says they're the kinds that will, after murdering their parents, go to court and beg for mercy because they're an orphan. So that's like, that's some gall for sure. So then the overall theme for today is looking at this adaptation for survival, this intuitive adaptation, and the adaptation from shock and being able to handle some level of shock. But still, if there's a big shock, ooh, okay, we have to pull away from that one. The moon starts in 20 line 2 with a down arrow. 20 is the gate of the now. This is why I was saying it's a very like sensitive to the now kind of a day. line 2 with a down arrow is dogmatism, dogmatic and limited understanding, which ignores everything that is seemingly irrelevant at a given moment. So a little bit kind of, and it's like, well, it's going to be balanced today by that sort of move and shift adaptation that's going on in the third lines. After the 20th gate, the moon will move into 16, that gate of skills. Excuse me. And then across into 35, experience the jack of all trades. All right, so we will get a connection through that in the later part of the day so that we will get this channel lit up because we have 36 in the long range activations. That's in Saturn right now. So, and we just talked about that shifting actually. So we will have 35, 36, which will give everyone on the planet for a while in the evening emotional power, emotional activation. So, people will be acting emotionally tonight, and they will be able to talk about it, or they will be having experiences. So this will be the kind of night, if all things were equal, where people would be wanting to go out to a bar, have a crisis, go out to a bar, get a drunk, have a fight, talk about it later. It's kind of the energy there, right? That survival in the now, let's go have an adventure kind of an energy. Very interesting. Oh, and it's a Friday. So look for that. This will be a night when there will be definitely a large number of people out partying, I would bet you, because of all this very sensitive kind of energy to that. Very interesting. Our Mercury energy, as far as our second people energy goes, is in 28.4 still, but we do get a down arrow on that, which is, 28.4. I guess it wasn't there yesterday, was it? No, it was only in 3 yesterday. Holding on to and using all means available. 28 is the gate of taking risks. So we're talking about risk on a fourth line theme. So when you get to the fourth line, it's about networking, meeting the other, dealing with the other, being in a interpersonal kind of a situation. So then it would be like interpersonal risks or taking risks with people, and it could be risky to hold on to someone. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know anybody. I don't have any special story about this particular gate activation, but the down arrow that we will be feeling of that is to stubbornly and selfishly apply reason while holding on. That could be a very interesting kind of energy to run across in a bar fight. So, I won't be going to a bar, but you have fun with that. All right. So, Mercury, no, that's Mercury. Then we get to Venus. Venus starts off in 6-4, which we looked at yesterday. Triumph, right? To amicably unfold natural and dominant power, and into the 5th line of that 6th gate. That's our gate of interpersonal friction, mediation, tension between people, and the 5th line is mediation, restraint in order to avoid conflict. Thank goodness, or there would be some heads being busted in those bars where people are going to be partying tonight. And our Mars energy is at 44, line 5, with a down arrow. That is carried over from yesterday, and it's to remind ourselves to manipulatively suppress others and abuse their abilities. That will be moving into line 6. The 44th gate is this situational awareness, collaboration, understanding what the people are that can fill the needs in the places. So really having a recognition of patterns to be able to settle down on what's going on and who needs to do what. into line 6, which is my own activation of that line. At least I believe so, if my birth time, if I've got it calibrated properly. Aloofness, which ensures one's well-being. So by the time you get to the 6th line, it's no longer really actively interested in organizing the forces. It's just really looking at them and understanding the way that they work. So there's that. We do have a little bit of a global shift because Jupiter will move from 64.3, which was about details. I did just look that up. Where was that? To discover valuable information and innovative applications in detail work. 2, line 4, asceticism, details expressed after periods of retreat and reflection. So there will be a little bit more of coming out energy with that detail that we're seeing. So 1, 2, and 3 are very inward focused, detail, kind of, I don't want to say work, but focus there. And then that 4th line is coming out with its details. So it's definitely been in retreat, but then it comes out and shares those details, because that's what that 4th line wants to do. It wants to come out and be influential with what it's doing. It wants to gossip. It wants to share those details with you. So we will start to see a little bit of that on the global scale if we are looking for it. So to recap, we have 2 potential connections being made today. We will have the 2057. This one we've been having a lot lately. The improviser, that flash of inspiration. And then towards the end of the day, because we will be getting the 35 in the moon, we'll also get this channel over here of this jack of all trades, crisis, and then experience. So that's today's energies. The song for today is Baltimore by Nina Simone. I found a nice live version that she was doing where she talks about, this little, poor little seagull, kind of battered, sitting on the marble steps, looking for the ocean, trying to survive. And she's talking about how hard it is to survive and live, and how you're going to get things done, how you're going to find your way in a city like Baltimore. So I was like, yeah, and it's also kind of like a little, a catchy little rhythm that it's got to the song there. So that's kind of cute. If you get a chance, look up Baltimore by Nina Simone. She's a very powerful kind of singer. I believe she was a generator. But wow, what a difficult story she had. And she turned it into gold for herself, really recreating herself out of a difficult, super abusive kind of relationship. I don't know if you know anything about her story, but it's a fascinating one. And I certainly have a lot of admiration for Nina and a lot of her music as well. So there's that. Lovely. Tomorrow we will be in line 4 of intuition and shock, and we will be moving towards that juxtaposition cross. So buckle up and come back and see what it's about. I'll see you tomorrow.